Gulf State Park is part of a unique biome known as longleaf pine ecosystem. This type of ecosystem is one of the most diverse in the United States and includes many rare and endangered plants and animals. Part of what makes this ecosystem so unique is its dependence on frequent exposure to fire. This means that plants and animals in this area have adapted to withstand the heat of fire and sometimes will not thrive without it. As fire moves through this area, it will destroy other pine species like loblolly and slash pine, woody shrubs, and hardwoods that outcompete the longleaf pines. Unfortunately, because of human growth and development of the southeastern part of the United States, many areas have suffered from fire suppression. These forests have become thick and overgrown with hardwoods and vines, creating a scary situation in which wildfires can easily destroy this habitat and people's homes. In addition, many of the plants and animals that would naturally thrive in a longleaf pine ecosystem have been listed by Fish and Wildlife as endangered due to habitat loss. In Gulf State Park, we strive to use good land management practices to preserve our longleaf pine stands and the animals that live within them. To make this possible, we utilize a management tool known as prescribed burning. Prescribed burning is a planned application of fire to a forest stand with the intent of keeping the fire within a confined area. Of course, the use of fire, even a planned fire, can be dangerous. With the help of the Alabama Forestry Commission and proper planning, we're able to make all the necessary precautions to ensure the fire does not escape. Prescribed burning begins with a plan or a prescription for the fire. This means that we evaluate the area we want to burn, decide on what the goal is, for example, to reduce the unwanted fuel or improve the habitat or even to remove storm-damaged trees, and then determine the best weather or winds that we would need to accomplish this goal. This is an example of a burn plan that we would use for the area around Eagle Loop. This habitat is very sensitive and can only be burned under the right conditions and when the eagles are not nesting. Once the burn plan has been approved and notarized, we work again with the Alabama Forestry Commission to begin the burn. The burn plan helps us to determine the best method for igniting the fire and systematically moving it through the forest in a way that protects the boardwalks, observation decks, buildings, roadways, and sensitive trees. We also use resources such as Alabama Forestry Commission's Fire Weather Forecast page and Drought Index. Trained forestry professionals and our local fire departments help us to monitor the fire and keep it contained within the fire breaks. Sometimes we even need the help of a helicopter to keep the boardwalks wet where the hoses cannot reach. Then the fire can be ignited around the boardwalk. As the fire burns, it removes many unwanted shrubs and hardwoods that prevent the growth of grasses that are ideal for quail, deer, and migratory birds. Once the fire is finished, it may look charred, black, and ugly, but this is just the beginning to something so much more beautiful. You can see how the bark on this pine tree is scorched and black. But because this tree is fire resistant, that bark protects the tree from the fire, and so it's only just scorched on the outside. So you can see underneath how it's protected from the fire. By opening up this forest using prescribed fire, we're better managing this area for species like quail, deer, and even gopher tortoises. Eventually, as this stand of longleaf pines matures, It's our goal to reintroduce the endangered red-cockaded woodpecker to this area. If properly maintained by fire, this longleaf pine forest will have microhabitats within it, such as this carnivorous bog. These carnivorous plants found in this nutrient-poor, moist soil need ample sunlight and an occasional fire in order to thrive. Part of our Alabama State Parks mission statement states that we're to preserve natural areas within the state. We believe that by using prescribed burning as a land management tool, we're doing just that. We are diligently working to protect our longleaf pine ecosystem and the plants and animals that live in them.